Sla. The roar that shattered the silence of the Pride Lands was not born of rage, but of a love pushed too far, a defiance forged in grief and courage. In that single sound, the land understood something irreversible had begun. He did not rise against his kingdom for power, for glory, or for a throne carved from ancient stone. He rose because love had claimed his heart, and the world had answered by calling that love a crime. From that moment forward, the Pride Lands would whisper his name, not as a traitor or a hero, but as the lion who dared to challenge everything he was raised to defend. He was born beneath Pride Rock, mildewed by tradition, so heavy it pressed the breath from his chest before he learned what freedom felt like. Each sunrise brought lessons of duty, sacrifice, and obedience. He was taught that a king's heart belonged first to the land, second to the pride, and never to itself. Love, he was told, was acceptable only when it served the crown. Belief is, because belief was easier than questioning the world that shaped him. She came from beyond the borders, from lands spoken of in hushed warnings and fearful whispers. Her life was not guided by ceremony, but by survival. She trusted instinct over law, loyalty over legacy. Where he was trained to rule with restraint, she lived with courage sharpened by loss. Her scars were stories the Pride Lands refused to hear, marks left by decisions made from distant thrones. Yet her spirit burned bright, untamed and unbowed. Their meeting was never meant to happen. A crossing of paths at the edge of the kingdom, where the grass thinned and rules lost their grip. He should have turned back. She should have disappeared into the wild. Instead, they stayed. In the quiet space between them, the world felt smaller, clearer, dangerously real. Something ancient stirred, something that did not care for borders or crowns. Curiosity became necessity. One meeting became many, each one a step deeper into forbidden ground. With her, he felt like more than a future king bound by expectation. With him, she felt like more than a survivor shaped by loss. Love did not bloom softly. It rose like a rebellion. Every stolen moment was a choice against the destiny written for him in stone. The Pride Lands felt the shift before they understood it. They always do. Whispers crept through the pride like a sickness, twisting truth into fear. A prince seen beyond the borders. A lioness too close to royal blood. Concern dressed itself as tradition. Fear hid behind protection. The elders watched with eyes clouded by memories of wars fought to preserve order. When the council confronted him, their voices carried the weight of generations. They warned him that love could fracture the pride, that outsiders carried chaos, that no single heart was worth risking the circle of life. They spoke of history, of mercy that had once led to bloodshed, of the danger of choosing emotion over duty. He listened in silence, too, torn between obedience and the truth beating in his chest. She faced judgment just as harsh. Her people questioned her loyalty, reminding her of lives lost to Pride Land's decisions. They accused her of forgetting pain in the comfort of affection. Love, they said, had softened her, blinded her. She tried to explain that he was different. Said, he saw her as an equal, not a threat. Fear speaks louder than hope, and it drowns reason without mercy. The night everything changed. The sky burned red, as if the stars themselves were watching. They met, knowing it might be the last time they could do so freely. There were no promises of safety, no illusions of peace. Only truth. They chose each other completely. Understanding the cost would be devastating. In that moment, love stopped being a secret and became an act of defiance. The response was swift and merciless. Borders closed. Patrols multiplied. The Pride Lands tightened their grip under the claim of protection. The first clash was small, almost meaningless, yet blood touched the earth, and the land remembered. Once fear draws blood, it demands more. War did not announce itself. It crept in, Disguised as defense, the Pride Lands marched beneath banners of honor and unity. The outsiders gathered in desperation, fighting for survival. Each side told itself the same lie: that the other was the enemy, that violence was necessary. Love became the story whispered to justify cruelty. He was pushed into command, standing before warriors who trusted him with their lives. Each order tore at him. He told himself he was limiting loss, that he could end the war quickly. But the truth followed him relentlessly. This war existed because he loved her, and because the Pride Lands could not accept that love. She became a symbol she never wanted to be. To her people, she represented resistance. To the Pride Lands, she became the reason for bloodshed. Her name was spoken with anger and fear. Love stripped her of anonymity and turned her heart into a battlefield others fought over. The fighting was brutal and unending. Grasslands burned. Rivers darkened. Cubs learned the sound of war before lullabies. Victory felt empty. Defeat felt the same. With every life lost, the distance between who they were and who they had become grew wider. They met again amid ruin and smoke. No joy remained, only grief sharpened by memory. Love still lived between them, but now it carried weight, guilt, and responsibility. They understood then that the war no longer belonged to them alone. When the Pride Lands demanded a final assault, something inside him finally shattered. He saw the future clearly, endless cycles of blood justified by fear. Obedience would mean destroying everything a true king should protect. In that moment, he chose differently. He turned against the Pride Lands, not in hatred, but in resolve. He fought not to conquer, but to stop the killing. Warriors froze, stunned by the sight of one of their own standing against the system that raised him. His roar was not rage, but defiance of a world that chose power over compassion. 2. The battlefield dissolved into chaos across the Pride Lands. Loyalties broke. Lines vanished. He, a golden-maned lion with the strength and spirit of a king, fought fiercely, shielding lives where he could. Standing between death and those who had once been his enemies. Beside him, she, a fierce lioness with scars of survival, fought back to back, their trust forged in fire guiding every move. Every roar, every clash of claws, echoed through the savannah like the legends of old. The final moments thundered with flame and grief. Even the sky seemed to mourn over the Pride Lands. When silence fell, the land was scarred beyond recognition. The Pride Lands remained standing, but they were no longer the same. The war ended, not in victory, but in exhaustion. Survive, though the crown of the Pride Lands did not. Exile followed, not as punishment, but as necessity. A kingdom that feared love could not be ruled by the lion who had fought for it. She survived too, carrying both loss and hope in equal measure. Together, they left the Pride Lands behind, not as fugitives, but as proof that love among lions could challenge even the strongest traditions. Their story became a warning carried through generations, a reminder that the greatest courage is not always found in ruling, but in refusing to rule a world built on fear. He fought the Pride Lands for her, and in doing so, he changed the Pride Lands forever.